This is the CarterCast, the pre-proposal show for dating couples designed to make engagement ring shopping easy, understandable, and fun. You can get the 4 C's anywhere, but only here can you get the 5th C, construction. Happy 2025 to you and yours, and oh, what a year it will be. Very excited about today's show because we are on location from the site of the new Jack Lewis Jewelers, 3011 Galena Road, next to Biaggi's and Ancho Agave out here on Bloomington's east side, currently under construction and slated to open later this year. Welcome into the set of College Jewelry Game Day. I'm Josh.
There's no giant photo of my face back here.
There should be. We need signs and people with great big pictures of your head.
Yep.
CGA Gigi, former president of the AGS, 2024 Robert M. Shipley Award winner, current Jack Lewis Jewelers CEO, and the man responsible for this towering structure behind us, John Carter.
Hello.
Carter, here we are.
This has definitely taken a village to put this towering structure.
Right? Take a look. Carter, tell us what you see.
The future.
Yeah?
The future.
In what way?
The future and homage to the past that got us here.
Well,
it will be a modern, full, amenity-packed retail jewelry store with services and merchandise that really will be unparalleled. It'll be something that we can all be proud of.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, 2025 will be a big year. Jack Lewis will still be in the current location on Eastland Drive for several more months. Then there'll be a process of moving the store from over there to over here, and then plenty of fanfare surrounding the grand opening of the new store sometime this summer. We've been capturing footage of the construction progress ever since the groundbreaking last June, so this episode will be full of first looks and sneak peeks at the new store and how it's all coming together. Later this year, once it's finished, we'll tour through the new space and show you all the new finishes and decorations in detail. Today, though, while the building is still being created, we thought it'd be a perfect chance to chat with Carter about the big picture, the vision, the hopes, the dreams, the location, who's involved, and the insider experience of what this process has been like.
Okay.
So let's dive in.
All right, let's go.
So first big question. Jack Lewis Jewelers has existed since 1927.
That's correct.
It's had 3 owners, Mr. Lewis himself, John Woolwind, and you.
Yeah.
Each owner has moved the store.
True.
And so now you are following suit. So start with the big question. Why did you decide to build a new store?
When your business gets to be 100 years old, right, you have the ebbs and flows that go along with the business and the changes in the economy and the changes within your team and your merchandise selection changes and your industry changes and needs in general for business change and evolve as a business grows. And I think the best analogy that I've really thought about this project for the last couple of years is that while we've been in our current location for 30 years, which I still can't believe because I helped to move Jack Lewis out there when I was in college, which, still seems like yesterday, but time marches on, right?
It does. Yeah.
And, but the best analogy that I can say is that we're kind of like a potted plant that's outgrown the pot. And we're bursting to grow a little bit more. Our team has grown, and then it's hard to grow your current facility as your team grows. So it really just became time, and the further we seem to draw clients from, as you know, it's hundreds of miles at this point.
Right.
So. We want to have an elevated experience for people, not just locally, which is so important to what we do, but also the people that make the choice to get in a car and drive and come see us for kind of a day trip. That matters to us too.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we deliver on that and make it worth the trip.
Right. Would you say it's on the spectrum of necessity to desire? Are you building the new store more because you need to or more because you want to?
It's a 30-year dream for me to build a new store. Yes, I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
But the part behind that is you can want to build your business to a certain level, but you have to grow it to the level to necessitate the move is what we've had to do.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that we have. So it's taken a long time to get to this point where the business needs this move. But both things are aligned, and I'm very proud of that, and yes, very excited for the future.
Yeah, you mentioned the old place, been there for 30 years. 1994 is when you helped move it in. Yeah. What thoughts can you share about your time there?
Well, I grew up there, right? I mean, I started at the downtown Jack Lewis store, and it's funny because as we've been posting about the move, we get a lot of the nostalgia that comes from our clients that are third and fourth generation, and we remember you when you were on the square. And many people don't realize that Mr. Lewis actually had another business. He had another business partner, Olbrich, who was even across the street from where the Illinois Hotel was. Yeah. And people don't really associate that because it would have been pre-1927.
Right.
So I think that some of the history maybe even has been lost, or at least lost in terms of lineage and memory for our community. So it's I'll remember growing up, starting off my career rather at the mall store as a young man that was hired to take out the trash and do watch batteries and things like that. And that was definitely every bit of a mall job for me as a young man. And then when we moved to the store a couple of years later, and I was lucky enough to have a great after school job while I went to college locally. And so I say, and it's not really it's not really talking in platitudes or hyperbole. It truly is. I did grow up at that store before I was 18 to, as a young man in college, and now comes full circle to have it be a part of my family and to grow it enough to move it is really impactful.
Why build a brand new store from scratch instead of just moving into a building that already exists? There's plenty of real estate, open places in this town especially. Why do it from scratch from the ground up?
To control your destiny and to control, if we were going to do this, we wanted to do it right. And we wanted to have certain amenities to our store that is very hard to just go into an old building, gut it, and just use the four walls and change it. In this way, we were able to control the footprint of the building. We were able to control where the building was, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yep.
And it really is from the concrete slab to the tippy top of the roof, being able to control what it is and how we're able to treat our clients when they visit us really was the most important part of that decision.
Yeah. So here we are at this spot
on a 59-degree day in December with my heated vest.
I know. we got wonderful, beautiful weather here for this filming outside. Why this location? So I mentioned in the open, we're here at 3011 Galena Road. That's going to be the new address.
Yep.
After being 1704 Eastland Drive for so long, now we're 3011 Galena Road. Out here by Ancho Agave and Biaggi. So what's the story behind this location? Why here?
Well, like many of us, I love these two restaurants, and I'm here quite a bit.
That's what it was all about.
We are lucky in Bloomington Normal to have quite a few great restaurants.
Yeah.
Not just these two, but these two. And really, when it became obvious, or not obvious, when it became known to me that the lot itself was available, it was just a no-brainer to be able to come out to this side of town. You have Crafted, of course, across the street, and it's just going to be a great neighborhood. It's a lot of traffic for us, I think, in terms of people that come out here and eat and enjoy and have a drink or two anyway. And so that I think that's a logical fit for us to be here. And while the other side of town has been so good to us for so long, and as people have asked me, is it bittersweet? Of course it's bittersweet. Yeah. But I'd say it's every bit as exciting as it is either bitter or sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. What advantages do you expect customers to enjoy because you decided to locate the store here in this area, this side of town, next to these other places?
I mean, I think the adage of being able to, workshop and play a little bit out here with some pretty great neighbors matters and should add to our experience. And that's aside from what we have going on the inside.
Right.
But we want Jack Lewis Jewelers to be a place where you can, and we've always wanted this, but we want it to be a place where you can come down and have a cappuccino and visit with our team and indulge yourself into the world of luxury, or just shop a little bit. And it's called retail therapy for a reason. And you don't get that therapy just by swiping your credit card. It's immersing yourself sometimes into things that you're not even ready or have intent to purchase.
Yeah.
That may sound like lip service when we say that, but we want this to be that sort of place where you can come and just indulge and play and try things on. And maybe it's something that you've always dreamed of, and maybe it's not. But sometimes those conversations are how some of those dreams begin as well. And so we want this to be warm and welcoming and inviting, and never be rushed, and always feel like you're just catered to and inviting you to have a good time in our store.
And doing it out here, again, this location is the Far East Side, out by the airport. Certainly this is a bustling, growing area of town. I think putting roots down here really is symbolic of that we're part of the town's future. I mean, I think this is where the town is growing, has been growing this direction for a while. A little more space, probably more parking than the current store. Again, I mentioned the airport. People can fly in if they want, right nearby.
Right.
So a lot of other advantages probably to this footprint being here for the store. All right, let's shift to the building itself. This awesome thing taking shape behind us. Let's talk about the design. Who was involved in the design process? This the brainchild of you and who?
I really have enjoyed working with our architect at Hewn Architecture, which is Kyle Glandon. And I had a conversation probably about 3 years ago when we first started talking about this. And he said, what other buildings inspire you? And I think, as you and I have talked about marketing over the years, you've asked me things that, where you're going, what inspires you, what you asked me color concepts and things like that. And Kyle was very similar. And I explained to him, showed him some projects of maybe some other stores, and wasn't even necessarily just jewelry stores, but it was other retail stores, restaurants, and things that I had seen and admired. I've always been a fan of Frank Lloyd Wright since I was a kid. I've always loved prairie style architecture. I love prairie grass. I think there's no more quintessential Illinois thing than prairie grass. And so he just really did a good job of listening in terms of, okay, well, and do you want it to look like, well, no, I don't want it to just look like that. I wanted it to be, kind of a combination of a modern version of that, maybe with a little bit of a mid-century modern twist to it. And I think especially on the interior, I think that people will see some of that. But on the outside, he just did this great, you can see, and most of it is up now. I'm glad that we recorded this even this week and not a week or two ago. But you can see this wonderful mix of slate on this side of the building, and then the individually laid stone on the west side, the north side, and even on the east side of the building. And then this one of the underappreciated things that'll carry itself inside is on the underneath part of this soffit on the roof. You see that that wood finish is going to get carried into the interior ceiling of the store. And so that mix of all those materials and colors, but still being very earthy and very prairie style, really honored much of that original conversation that I had with him. And that's why, I tell him all the time that he's worth his weight in gold, but it's really been an awesome experience to get to work with somebody of Kyle's caliber.
Yeah, totally.
You're welcome for the commercial, Kyle.
What else, other than maybe some of the things you just mentioned about the prairie themes, were there other themes you were trying to prioritize? Like what did you want to make sure happened on the inside of the store by the time it was all kind of put together and said and done, as far as maybe the vibes or the feel or the theme that you're going for on the inside?
We want experience. We want is a great example. Missy, our general manager, my partner in the business, she and I talk all the time that, she and I travel quite a bit for the store. And so we'll go to New York and to Las Vegas and to these, and so we as well, we travel. And so we get these luxury experiences. Sometimes it's in high-end restaurants, sometimes it's in other high-end retail. There's just not a lot of attention to that luxury experience that happens today. And by luxury, I don't mean you walk into it has to be a high-end Italian or French purse manufacturer. I don't mean that. I mean luxury in terms of you get to see and try on things you don't get to appreciate every day. You have a team that is there to meet your needs as they arise. If you want a refreshment, here's a refreshment. If you want to try this on, please try this on. If you want to see this piece and compare that piece, that's what they're there to do. And to always do that with a smile on your face, that's the luxury experience that we're talking about. Never make anybody feel rushed, never make anybody feel like they have to spend money that they're not ready to spend, those sorts of things. And so this building will be built with that intent it will be, I think, for a lack of a better way to put it, everything should feel very intentional when you walk in this store.
Yeah. So no marble fountains and no glass crocodiles. And
well, not yet. But now that you mention it, that does sound quite nice.
Was there anything you had to remove or compromise along the process that you wanted?
For sure. Yeah.
Anything stand out?
Yeah. If anybody has done construction of any kind, like remodeling of the whole thing ends up being kind of compromised, right? Like, that's more than I thought it would be. So you need to switch to a different material, or we had to spend this and we didn't anticipate that. So you do have to still try to stay within a budget, and yeah, there's always give and take with what you could do. I don't think that this won't feel like that at all.
Yeah,
you won't walk in this store and feel like there's anything that we had to do without. Yeah, it will feel very complete.
The Olympic-sized pool. I think
that's on the roof, but I'm the only one that has access to that. So,
what are your favorite parts of how it's going to end up turning out? You got anything that really jumps out that you're just like, I can't wait to show people this part of it when it's done?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when you pull up to it, it sets the tone right away with the glass and the stone and the steel, and I think that it tells you right away that this is a unique experience. Mm-hmm. And when you walk in, there'll be there's a our foyer here, which will turn to the left, has a double-sided fireplace. So a fireplace on the foyer side, and then when you walk in, it'll be on that side is a little bit of a lounge area.
Yep.
With a bar, which will be, we'll make you a cappuccino or an espresso or have a soft drink or something. And if you want to come and just start that way, just do that.
Yeah.
That to me, and that the bar area is going to be, that lounge area is going to be so pretty with the TVs. There'll be a TV probably with, sports playing or news, a stock ticker. Or
those like drone footage of just beautiful landscapes?
Just drone footage, just pictures of me. No. I said we want people to stay. We want people to enjoy the lounge, Josh.
Photo album through the years. I love it.
My high school pictures. That I'm really excited about, because that'll have bar height and stools and things like that. It's really going to be very welcoming right when you walk in.
Yeah,
and that's really incredible. And then you're going to have this really spacious show floor with a 23-foot ceiling down the middle.
Yeah.
So all these windows that you see here are going to let in, during the daytime, obviously going to let in so much light. It's just going to be a really beautiful place to showcase jewelry.
Yeah.
And so that's really, as somebody who's sold jewelry his whole life, to be able to show it in the proper light, I can tell you is so important. Not to trick anybody. We're always, I think we've even talked about this on CarterCast before, we're always just trying to show you what a piece of jewelry will look like in sunlight.
Right.
Now my store will do that.
Yes.
And I've always said the best jewelry store would have a retractable roof.
Is it breaking news?
No, not breaking news. No. But power shades.
Yeah.
So that, so we can let as much or as little in as we want. And then that's not even to get into the individual brands that we'll be showcasing on the sales floor, which I would like to be a little bit of, when people walk in, I want them to experience those areas on their own merits. I think that's going to be really exceptional. I want people to be excited about that. Our bridal area, or where you would buy engagement rings and diamonds and things like that, is going to be, it'll have some privacy in the back corner of the store that'll be even screened off a little bit. And then there's going to be this beautiful back wall to the store, which has this beautiful lattice work, and where the staircase goes up to the second floor. And that, I think, will be a real focal point for when you walk in. It's just really going to be a beautiful addition to what we do. And of course, then above that, we'll have our conference room on the second floor.
Executive level.
Well, when we do, our vision for that would be obviously to do our own in-store trainings and things like that we would do meetings with our own team. But I also could see that being some sort of a community space if some of our not-for-profit partners that we've done a lot of work with over the years want to use it as a board meeting or something like that. Because then that leads to probably what is truly my favorite part of the store, which is in this back corner of the store will be a second-story outdoor entertainment space, which will have
love it
furniture and fire pits and things like that. So it'll be a great way in a day like today, even a 59-degree day in December. You think it's just done in December? No, this would be a fantastic day.
Yeah.
To have a little meeting and go out there and have a cappuccino or an espresso or something to warm me up. I think it's going to be a really nice thing that again, Second to none. And you mentioned the airport. Like, I've been up here now while they're doing this. This is a fantastic place
right?
to even watch the airplanes come in and
awesome.
go. It's really very cool.
Do we have a name for it yet? Is it the patio? Is it the terrace? Is it the skyway?
The breezeway? No, no, I've not. I've been
that out, yeah.
I've been calling it the terrace.
Okay, yeah,
but I think we'll come up with something.
I love it.
Better.
It's gonna be so awesome. Walk out there and just hang out on the roof.
Yeah,
rooftop terrace.
Yeah, I'll even let you up there sometimes.
Oh, only on certain days.
Yeah, right.
I have to redeem my credits.
For sure. We'll start saving them.
We got tokens. Yeah. Terrace tokens.
Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Yeah, I love the design of it too. From some of the things I have seen, just you mentioned the staircase. It's going to kind of go up the back, and then you see the way the roof angles. Just those two angles. There's so much neat work that Kyle did with angles and just space in the whole place. It's going to look really cool.
Yeah, he did a lot. There's a lot going on without making it look busy or unplanned.
Yeah,
it really just is. And it's a real. His mind works in a very different way. I think any talented architect or designer, you could say that about.
Totally.
And then I worked with an interior designer on Kyle's team, Sydney.
Yeah.
Don't want to not include her. Or Paul from Kyle's team, who've been really just amazing. Sydney just laying all the details and things like that, and the finishes. And then I bring in a jewelry store designer as well, somebody who can help me lay out the interior and how do you do what showcases to do here, what to do there. Because admittedly, Kyle would tell you he's never done a jewelry store, so he wouldn't know how that would go. And
sure.
And this lady that I've used, her name is Stephanie, has been really just incredible. So I've been really, really blessed to have this team and like you. I think one of the keys to our relationship together has been that you're never afraid to tell me no or that's a dumb idea. They have very similarly, probably more time than I would like them to tell me that something that I want to do on the inside.
And then it happens.
They do it nicely, you know, like, are you, well, no.
An alternative solution might be.
Maybe we should do the opposite of what you're suggesting. And they do it very nicely. I never feel insulted, but I do feel corrected. And that's okay too. I need regular correction.
Redirected.
Redirected is a good way to put it. Thank you for redirecting me, guys.
You've been recalculated.
Yeah.
GPS.
That's good.
Recentering you.
Yeah.
So after the design process, somebody has to build it. So tell us about the construction on this. Who's involved with the construction?
That's been Catalyst. You'll probably see trucks on the camera somewhere. Yeah. Catalyst construction here in Bloomington. They've been amazing. Really good at, again, keeping everything on task and on schedule. There are millions and millions of moving parts. Josiah, who's been our on-site superintendent, has just been so fun to work with. And I call him a kid. He's young. He's just such a good kid. Yeah. And he keeps all the subs on track, and he's been really great. And makes my life so much easier. It's like I'm building a building now and getting through the holiday season and things like that. But there's nothing I have to worry about. That's never not under control by him or his coworker Camden.
Yeah.
So really, again, from the design side of it with Kyle and Stephanie and Paul and Sydney to these guys from Catalyst, it's just been really thankful to have put together such a good team. And God puts people in your path at the right times, and I feel like that's definitely come full circle on a project like this.
Yeah. You mentioned there's so many subs as well, subcontractors that do the work in there. There's been a lot of people, just to underscore your point, a lot of voices, a lot of people have participated in this so far. It's been really cool.
I mean, and there's so many of them. I don't even want to point one out because it would be, I would be remiss because there's from electrical to paint to flooring to everything else,
dozens and dozens,
glass and stone, and just more than you think. And there's. Everything became a very difficult choice in this town because we have so many other good. We have good builders in our town and good subcontractors, and you try to do as many people as you can and support as many local businesses as you can. But it's been fun to see it all come together and see as much of it. How they all play together and how they build, no pun intended, off of each other has been really rewarding to see.
Yeah. Let's shift to the customers. That's who you're building this place for.
Yeah.
I would imagine, in some point. How's the new store going to serve them well? What should they expect that it's going to be when they get there?
Obviously, the show floor is considerably larger.
Yeah.
The good news, bad news for us means that we need to fill it with more jewelry.
You could just have like negative space and go for the ambiance.
We will, and truthfully, that is part of it.
Yeah.
When you walk into a properly displayed jewelry store, it shouldn't all look thrown on top of each other.
Yeah.
Each collection should have its own little identity. So yes, that's a great point. I think you were kidding when you said it, but to be able to add space between collections makes it easier for the customer to comprehend what they're looking at.
Yeah.
It might seem psychological, but we're all this way, right? Like we can all think of the big box stores that we walk into that you just can't make a decision because you're so overloaded with
feel cluttered. Yeah.
You feel cluttered. You feel itchy when you get out of there.
Right.
This should feel very clean. This should feel very tailored. It should look, as I've used the term intentional before. We have a very intentional approach to the way that we select our jewelry now, but in this case, it'll also allow us to be very intentional for how we display that merchandise as well. So it should make shopping feel a little freer. And should make you leave hopefully refreshed and a little bit more put together. And know that we helped you select something because you didn't have everything else just blended together, but we chose the right piece for you and helped you do that.
Yeah. The other thing too, about the customer experience, what they can expect. You already said this, but just to underline it again, like you do want it to be an experience when people come in. Like it's not just going to be come and shop and buy something. I think it's also this date night idea or people to come and hang out, spend some time there. Again, you mentioned the bar and lounge area, the patio on top. Like I think it's a place that you kind of envision people spending a lot of time and not just coming in to make a transaction. Is that fair?
One of my favorite things that customers do now, which will be even a little bit easier in this store, is I want people to come on days where they're not doing, it's not a shopping visit.
Yeah.
They're not buying anything, but they are building a wish list.
Yeah.
I love for my clients to do that now, to pop over for an hour after work some night and walk around and just pick out 10 or 15 things to say, oh, if somebody was shopping for me, these are the pieces that I want. Or sometimes it's just to remember the pieces that we had at that time that they want. Then we save it in our system, and then when whoever comes back in to make that purchase for that client, we can look it right up and know what that is. So, yeah, your point about being a date night, that's one of the things I love most about this neighborhood now, is it truly will be a date night destination.
Yeah.
So come over and get your jewelry cleaned as you wait for your table, or after you've had your dessert. That we want to be that sort of integral part of your nights together. On the rare night, as a married guy myself, where I don't get that many date nights with my wife.
Sure.
And so to have something like that could be a fun retail experience as well as go out and have a nice dinner.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
That's awesome. Big picture, what's this process been like for you? Where does this rank on your list of stressful big things John Carter's done?
It's not stressful.
Yeah.
I know that it should be.
Yeah.
There's, it's more stressful in December because, obviously we're busy. And by the way, thanks a lot for deciding to record this in early December. It's not like I have anything else going on at the store.
Hey, we got a beautiful day for it.
We did have a beautiful day. We did look up. So it's stressful in the sense that I have so many other things going on. But I want to say that I've really thoroughly enjoyed the process.
Good.
It's fun. I love to come out here. I try not to be in their hair every day, though if they were
How often are you out here?
Almost every day. I said I tried.
Just not in their hair. You're just here.
Just not in their hair. Sometimes I sometimes I want to come by maybe when they're not here and just see the week's work. One good thing for them in December is I'm too busy to come out here every day. But to see, like today's a good example, right? Like they've hung drywall over the last several days, and really to see drywall to come together in the interior of a building is really where you start to see the layout of your rooms and things like that. And you haven't seen it in a while. We should go check it out too when we're done. But it's honestly been fun, and to see how professionals in other industries such as building or architecture or jewelry store design, to see how they work and they function. I love that stuff. I love being able to see how other people perform their jobs. And so that's been very educational for me, and I've learned a lot. I don't necessarily want to do it again, just because, yes, it's been stressful to add another thing to my plate. And I think the hardest part is just that there are hundreds, probably by the time it's all said and done, several thousand decisions that need to be made, from doorknobs to where to put outlets and how to lay out rooms and things like that. Yes, it's a lot going on. But it's not been stressful. When stress is not the right word.
Yeah.
Intense.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good word. In a good way.
Yeah.
Cool. What good stories or memories come to mind over the last several months of this process? Anything maybe with the architects, with the builders, with just being out here on site? Anything in particular jump to mind as being a memorable story along this process?
Hearing from Josiah, our superintendent, tell me that when the subs come out and they look at it and they say, this is a jewelry store. And they don't say it with like question or why is this a jewelry store? They're very proud to be a part of it, to be building such a beautiful building in our town.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me because that's the point.
Right.
When I tell my friends when they ask me about it, and I'll joke with my clients, they'll say, "Oh, congratulations on the building," and I'll say, "Well, you helped. You helped us get to this point. Obviously, anybody who's made a purchase with us ever has helped us to get to this point. And we're going to need them now more than ever."
Don't stop now, folks. Hey.
Don't stop now. So when I hear people that are genuinely excited to say, "Oh my gosh, your building is looking so great," and they're doing it with a sense of pride and wonder, like this is in our town, this is amazing. And that's my point, is I want to bring more people to our town and be here for the people that currently live here. And I really just think, like, in terms of days, the day that we have that was pretty well documented by you and your team coming out here and turning a shovel full of dirt with my kids and my wife, Ketty, like that was really meaningful. My staff and
the beam signing, you guys did that.
The beam signing, we all came and signed the last beam, which is over here in this corner, which is still exposed. But my whole team was able to come out and like do a little signature on the last steel beam that was before it was raised in place, and that was super cool. Put a bunch of Jack Lewis stickers on there and little mementos and things that'll get covered up and be a part of the store for many years to come.
So what do the next several months look like? What is the road ahead? What's the projected timeline on all this as we sit here now at the start of the year?
We hope summer of 2025. I hope June or July. That's the goal.
What are the burning priorities right now that need to be done?
Well, they were, until recently they really wanted to get the building buttoned up so it was warm on the inside and there was no sideways snow and rain coming in. But now that they have that, and that's pretty secure, it's just finishing the drywall and bringing in the interior finishes. And I think probably, I say the fun part because that's the part I think everybody looks forward to. But for me, also seeing everything from, one of my most exciting days out here was watching the concrete slab get poured and then seeing the big steel beams get put up. So I don't know. I don't know what's next in terms of excitement for me.
Right.
Or what's next for the store, but I'm taking each step day by day, and every time I come out here, I'm like, man, I can't believe how good this looks. And when you think that just 6 months ago, this was an empty field.
I know.
Until Josiah and the team have done what they've done and just done a great job. Everybody just being dedicated and staying on task. I'm just so thankful.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Before that, we'll move out of the current location, though. So that'll be part of the whole process as well at some point. I would assume that'll take up some of your time in the months ahead. And we'll just keep sharing more news and info throughout the year as we go through these next few months leading up to summer, hopefully for the opening. One more question. Just the big summary thing. What do you hope the new Jack Lewis is and represents in our community?
I hope that what we've always been for people is a place to celebrate happy occasions and sometimes to remember people that they've lost. I certainly hope those things don't change. I hope we are just as generational as we have been for the last nearly 100 years. What I hope is different is I hope that people get an elevated retail experience that they're not necessarily used to, and that they come to associate us with and are thankful that we were able to and always will be there to deliver when they need it. That all starts, as you know, not with a building. It has nothing to do with the structure, as beautiful as this thing is and will be. But that promise is not delivered if you walk in and there's bad people that work at my store. We hire good human beings that are kind, patient, and loving. And those are the people that greet you and that wait on you when you come to Jack Lewis. And that's why you go online and you see 1,400 5-star reviews. It's not, those aren't paid reviews. Those are just genuinely good experiences one by one that people have had in my store because my team is good. So the long answer to your question is, I hope my store is still known for having good people that are here to help celebrate happy occasions. That's what I'm most proud of.
Absolutely.
Building is a building.
Yep. It's what's inside that counts, as is usually the case.
Yeah.
So stay tuned throughout the rest of this year. We'll have plenty of info and behind the scenes and photos and videos. We'll take you on a tour through the new place once it's done. All kinds of new things to come in 2025. Going to be a huge year in the life of Jack Lewis Jewelers. And of course, you will be a very big part of it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.